Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here, and welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today is Thursday, October 20th. So welcome to a new day. I have got my nice cup of tea this morning. I'm drinking rose hip. It's really nice. It's like a bright red. I don't know if you can see it. And it's got a little bit of honey in it. So I'm being creative with my teas. It's a winter tea. Really tastes great. It's good for you too. It's got lots of vitamin C in it. So rose hip. It's good tea. So anyway, I hope you're doing well. I'd like to thank you all, by the way, for all your great comments yesterday. I love the dialogue, as I've said before, that's going on now between everybody. These are tough times. Lots of influences all around us, creating stress and anxiety. But this is a place where you can feel safe. Come and have a chat with us in the morning and get up to speed on what's going on in the world. But at the same time, feel that you're part of a bigger community that cares about you. Everyone's welcome here. So, in the United States, last night was the big debate, the final debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And it was an interesting exchange. For one thing, the conversation at the beginning was certainly more focused on ideas and policy questions. I think the moderator did a very good job of keeping everyone on track. But at the end of the day, there were some key takeaways. First of all, it was Donald Trump said something which has really shocked people, and there's a lot of conversation about it this morning, and that is that he is not going to say whether he will respect the decision of the election. He said, keep people waiting. That's a very interesting comment to make and very worrying in some ways to a lot of people. The two argued over who was Putin's puppet, and Donald Trump called Hillary Clinton a nasty woman, and the sparks flew. However, they're done now. The polls suggest that Clinton is ahead nationally and also in the swing states, but of course we've got 2 weeks to go, and a lot can happen in that time. So I think the bottom line is, whatever happens, whoever wins, there's a very divided United States. And this is going to go on for a long time. So anyway, I hope that you're not too stressed out about this. I know everybody wants to get it over with, but I wanted to report on that since it is important news. In the Philippines yesterday, there was a very serious incident. The police were trying to contain an anti-U.S. demonstration near the U.S. Embassy, and things got a little out of control, and they actually backed up their truck. They had this police van. They backed it up over protesters. Now, nobody was killed, but 3 were hurt, and it really highlights the challenge that is in the Philippines right now between pro and anti-American. I hope I said the right thing. It was anti-American protesters who were outside the embassy, so that they want to get rid of the U.S. Bases in the Philippines. But anyway, interesting story. In space, I guess I get to report from outer space. The EU lander left its mothership yesterday, and it has actually landed on Mars. But they haven't heard from it yet this morning. And, of course, it was a very delicate landing. I'd had to land at just at right speed, right place, and they haven't heard. So everybody in the Space Center, I'm sure, are biting their nails, waiting to see whether it landed safely. That's our little lander, EU lander, on Mars. It's like 500 million miles away. It's incredible. Now, in Yemen, there is a ceasefire, a tentative, that's in effect right now. It's meant to go on for 72 hours. There's been so much fighting in Yemen, and this is the 6th time they've tried to implement a ceasefire. So hopefully it lasts and everybody gets a break from this really multifaceted fighting there. In Mosul, the Iraqi forces are continuing their drive to Mosul. They've taken over, I think, 20 plus villages now, and they're beginning now to move into the larger villages where there are ISIS leaders are trying to escape, and there's a little bit more activity going on now. So let's just keep our eyes on that and hope that, like we've talked about before, the citizens stay safe. That's the most important thing. They'll be allowed to get out. In the UK, there's an interesting story just to report about Julian Assange. He is the head of WikiLeaks. Do you remember the group that's hacking into various email accounts, releasing them? He's staying in the Ecuador embassy because he is trying to well, stay safe for his own personal reasons. But he is there in the Ecuador embassy, and they have cut off his internet access because they say that what he's doing in releasing these emails is distracting the U.S. election, and it's really an interesting development that Ecuador would do that. So that's in the UK. He's been there for like 6 years, I think. It's a crazy situation. But anyway, that's Julian Assange. Now, I've got a story. I hope it's not taken the wrong way, but I just think it's kind of funny. At Christmas, we always have these great calendars that come out, the firemen of a local city, or, just something a little bit provocative, the rowing team. And they're meant to sell calendars and make money, usually for charity. So I just read yesterday that if you've got a friend who is the perfect Christmas present for a pro-Putin fan, there's a great solution for you. Vladimir Putin in Russia has released his Christmas calendar. And I haven't actually seen all the pictures, but I've seen a few. And it's on sale now in the metro stations and various kiosks in Moscow. But it's got pictures of Vladimir Putin with kittens, holding a kitten, dressed in a wetsuit. He's got a picture of him after a race. He's actually dressed completely this time. There have been a few of him with his shirt off. But he's quite an interesting character, and he's now released his Christmas calendar in Russia. So there you go. Something to think about if you're running short of ideas for the holiday gift season. So anyway, now I'd like to change gears a bit and talk about a story that I hope will uplift you and make you feel, maybe get a different lens on your life and on the world. I really hope that you don't take this in a way that it's meant to be, in a way, kind of preachy and Pollyanna-ish, because I know that I, by nature, am a very positive person, and I always try to look at the challenges we face as women in our 60s through a positive lens. Not to ignore them, not to say that they're not real or that people are not doing, well in their retirement, but to make you think about another way. So this was a story that came through a group. I met them in Bali, Desa Seni. It's a hotel in Bali, but on their Facebook group yesterday, they posted this story, and it's told by a caregiver who is taking a lady called Mrs. Jones to a nursing home. And they say that she's a 92-year-old woman. She's very well dressed and poised, gets dressed every morning before 8, just tries her best to keep looking and feeling good. And her husband has just died, and so they're taking her now to a nursing home. And he says, as she gets to the nursing home, she has to wait in the waiting room. Oh, and she's blind. Excuse me, she's actually blind, so she can't see anything. But she's waiting in the waiting room. And as this gentleman takes her into her room, he starts to describe the room to her. Telling her about the curtains and the light that's coming in, and trying to bring it to life for her. And she stops him and says, "Oh, I love it. It's beautiful." And he says, "Well, you haven't seen it. How do you know?" And she says, "Oh, it's got nothing to do with how the furniture is arranged in my room. I've already decided that happiness is something that you decide ahead of time. And then when you get there, you just make it work." And then she goes on to say, whether I like my room or not, it doesn't, how the furniture is arranged doesn't matter. It's how I've arranged my mind. And then she says, it's a decision I make every morning. I get up and I can choose whether to feel sorry for myself that I'm alone, or that I'm blind, or that I've got all kinds of things on my mind. Or I can choose to find in my happiness bank, I can find a memory that makes me feel good about my life. And she said, I'm still depositing these happy memories in my memory bank. And this is something that she suggests that he does, and everyone does. And I just think that's really, she said, as long as I open my eyes every morning, I can focus on a new day. And I just think that attitude is really, for me personally, how I get energy. It's how I get encouragement to keep going. And she says, here are her five simple rules for happiness. Free your heart from hatred. Free your mind from worries. Live simply, give more, and expect less. So that's Mrs. Jones. And I really, I found that was uplifting. How about you? I mean, I hope that as we go through these mornings with 60andMe, that you feel free to talk about what's on your mind. I know that, like her, I've made the decision to take a positive attitude to my life. As I said before, I know that life is not easy for a lot of women in our community. And for those of you who are listening today, we're actually in unknown territory. We're living so much longer than our mothers and our grandparents. And so we've got this time now where we perhaps do have physical problems or financial issues, or we've lost friends or family. And it's partly because we are living extra years and we're getting to experience that extra time. And it's not easy. I interviewed a woman called Lynn Slater a few months ago, and she said that aging is profound. And I totally agree with her. It is profound. It's not easy. There are so many things that other women in our community are facing, and I respect that and I appreciate it. We've written many, many articles on 60andMe about these issues, these potentially negative things. Health, declining health, like me, not being able to get in shape, not being able to lose that weight that I want to, being alone without friends and close family. Having financial issues. I suffered through the crash in 2008. I would admit it, and I'd be happy to share my story, but, we all have had things happen to us in our lives that have made us feel less, made us not feel that we're enough or that we're not confident. So, it's all hard, and I'm really happy for everybody to share their constructive ideas and stories here on our channel. Everyone is welcome here on our 60andMe page and our website, Facebook group, but but it's not for everyone. There are some women in our group who really don't feel that they're connected to this way of looking at the world, and honestly, there are plenty of places online that you can talk about negativity, but I choose positivity. That's just my way. That's who I am, and that's one of the values for me, for 60andMe. I want us to be real. I want us to cover things that matter, but I want us to be thoughtful and kind to one another, and to not see that openness as an opportunity to be personal, disrespectful, and critical. This is, just not where we're at here. And I hope that you agree. I hope that everyone here is willing to do that and to put kindness first. It really does change everything when you put that lens, that goodness, as a lens for us all. So stay positive, stay real. That's what some advice someone has given me, and I'm going to take that advice. I'm going to go for it. Stay positive, but stay real. Now, we had some winners of our, I haven't got them nearby, but our Korean face masks, our pomegranate face masks, really cool. I actually tried one last night. I've got to be honest, I really love it. It makes my skin feel good, and it makes me feel good to treat myself. But our two winners, drum roll, are Carmela Katuti, and Teresa Kyo. So Teresa and Carmela, congratulations. You've got a little Korean face mask coming to you. Just, I've given you some instructions how to send your mailing address so I can get it in the post to you. And I hope you enjoy it. Hope it makes you feel good and pampered and special, which you are. So I really hope that you've enjoyed today's conversation. I would love to encourage you, as I've said before, to join in the conversation about anything we talk about. And if you've got ideas for topics you'd like us to cover, or constructive ideas for articles that we can write for 60andMe, please do feel free to put them in the section below. I'm open-minded to that. So I would love to ask you a question for today. And, we've talked in a couple of articles about the challenges of getting older, the things that frustrate you about getting older. But today I would just like to ask you a very simple question, and that is, what are you grateful for in your life? Leave your comments below. What are you grateful for in your life? Let's start a conversation. And again, talk to each other, respond to comments, like and share, and let's just build an even stronger community than we have already got today. So thanks again for being here, everyone. It is my absolute pleasure to do these talks with you, and I look forward to speaking with you all again tomorrow on Mornings with 60andMe. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.